200,000 people. One goal. And then? Nothing. No cheering, no booing, just silence. The biggest crowd football had ever seen, and you could have heard a pin drop. That was the ending to the single most shocking moment in World Cup history. But here's the thing, it's not even close to the only one. The World Cup only comes around once every 4 years, and when the hopes of an entire nation come crashing down onto the shoulders of 22 players, strange things start to happen. People snap. Referees completely lose the plot. Cheaters turn into legends. And every now and then, a dog saves the day. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are counting down 8 of the most shocking moments in the history of the World Cup. The ones nobody saw coming. The ones people still can't believe actually happened. So get comfortable. Let's get into it. Number 8. The mystery of the flying free kick. Picture it. It's 1974. A tiny African side called Zaire are up against the mighty Brazil. Brazil win a free kick, and they line it up, ready to shoot. And then, out of nowhere, a Zaire defender named Mwepu Ilunga just sprints out of the wall and boots the ball as far away as he possibly can. No reason, no warning. He just hammers it down the pitch. For decades, the whole world laughed at this clip. The player who didn't even understand the rules of football. A meme before memes existed. Except, he understood the rules perfectly. Here's the part nobody talks about. Zaire had already lost their first 2 games. 0-2 against Scotland, and then a brutal 9-0 against Yugoslavia. And word had reached the players that if they lost to Brazil by more than 3 goals, getting home safely was not guaranteed. So that silly clearance? That wasn't confusion. That was a man running down the clock to protect his teammates. The funniest clip in World Cup history has one of the darkest stories behind it. Number 7. The referee who couldn't count to 2. Here's a simple rule. A referee can show a player 2 yellow cards. 2. After the second one, you're off. Every football fan on earth knows this. But at the 2006 World Cup, English referee Graham Poll looked at one player and showed him 3. Croatia against Australia. In the 61st minute, Poll books a Croatian defender named Josip Šimunić. Fair enough. Later in the match, Šimunić fouls again. Second yellow, which should mean a red card. But Poll doesn't send him off. Why? Well, this is the wild part. Šimunić grew up in Australia and spoke with an Australian accent. So when Poll wrote down that first booking, he accidentally logged it against an Australian player instead. In his notebook, Šimunić had a clean sheet. So the game carries on. The final whistle blows. And Šimunić storms over to argue with the referee. Poll shows him a yellow for that too. His third yellow. And only then does the penny drop, and out comes the red card. The only player in World Cup history to get 3 yellow cards in one game. Poll was sent home from the tournament and eventually walked away from international football altogether. 1 accent, 1 wrong column, 1 career-defining nightmare. Number 6. The trophy, the thief, and the dog. This one, I promise you, is completely true. In 1966, England were about to host the World Cup, and in the build-up, they put the actual trophy, the Jules Rimet, on public display at a stamp exhibition in London. And somebody stole it. Gone. The actual World Cup trophy, snatched right out of the building. You can imagine the panic. The country hosting the tournament had just lost the prize everyone was competing for. It was a national embarrassment. And then, a little dog named Pickles, out on an ordinary walk with his owner, started sniffing at a bundle wrapped in newspaper under a bush. Inside that newspaper was the trophy. Pickles became a national hero overnight. He got a medal. He got treats for a year. So the next time somebody tells you they saved the day, just remember, a dog once saved the entire World Cup. Number 5. The Battle of Nuremberg. On paper, this was supposed to be beautiful. 2006, Portugal against the Netherlands. 2 of the most stylish, technical teams on the planet. Fans sat down expecting a masterclass. What they got was a war. The Russian referee, Valentin Ivanov, ended up showing 16 yellow cards and 4 red cards in a single match. 16. And to this day, that is still the record for a 90-minute World Cup game.
It started early. Cristiano Ronaldo was fouled in the 2nd minute and eventually limped off injured.
Portugal's captain Figo headbutted an opponent. 4 players in total got sent off. And at one point, the cameras cut to 2 of the sent-off players, Deco and Van Bronckhorst, who happened to be teammates at Barcelona, just sitting together off the pitch, chatting, waiting for the madness to end. Even the president of FIFA joked afterwards that the referee should have booked himself. 2 of the classiest teams in the world walked out onto that pitch, and turned it into a brawl. Number 4, the spit that lasted forever. 1990, Netherlands against West Germany. And you have to understand, there was real history behind this rivalry, bad blood that went back years. The Dutch midfielder, Frank Rijkaard, one of the best players in the world at the time, gets booked for a foul on Germany's Rudi Völler. And as Völler lines up for the free kick, Rijkaard leans over and spits right into his hair. Völler is furious. Things boil over and both players get sent off. But it doesn't end there. As the 2 of them walk off the pitch together, Rijkaard spits at him again. And this time, the cameras catch it in slow motion, the spit landing right on Völler's head. It became one of the most infamous images the sport has ever produced. The strangest part? Years later, the 2 of them actually made peace. They even filmed the TV advert together, laughing about it. But that image, that spit, that's forever. Number 3, the hand of God and the goal of the century. 1986, Argentina against England. And the man at the center of it all, Diego Maradona. Maradona jumps for a high ball against the English goalkeeper, and he punches it into the net with his hand, clear as day. But the referee doesn't see it, and the goal stands. Afterwards, Maradona famously described it as being scored a little with the head and a little with the hand of God. Straight up cheating, on the biggest stage in the world. But here is why this sits at number 3. Just 4 minutes later, the very same player picks up the ball inside his own half and dribbles past what feels like the entire England team, one after another before slotting it home. It is still called, to this day, the goal of the century, a cheat and a genius, in the same match, in the space of 4 minutes. Nobody, before or since, has ever blurred that line so completely. Number 2, the curse of the champions. In 2002, France arrived at the World Cup as the best team on the entire planet. They were the reigning world champions. They were also the reigning European champions. Nobody was touching them. They went home after the group stage, bottom of their group. And here is the truly shocking part. They did not score a single goal. Not one. The best team in the world silenced. And it turned out that wasn't a one-off. It was the start of a pattern that nobody has ever fully been able to explain. Since then, defending world champions have crashed out in the group stage over and over again. Italy, Spain, Germany, all world champions, all dumped out in the first round 4 years later. Aging squads, complacency, opponents who've cracked your code. Whatever the reason, win the World Cup, and 4 years later, the trophy seems to turn on you. They call it the curse of the champions, and it is very, very real. And number 1, the Maracanazo. 1950, Rio de Janeiro. The brand new Maracana Stadium, the biggest in the world, packed with around 200,000 people. Every single one of them there to watch one thing: Brazil winning their very first World Cup title. And they were basically already celebrating. Brazil only needed a draw. Newspapers had been printed calling them champions before the game even kicked off. And then, in the 79th minute, Uruguay's Alcides Gigia scored. 2-1 to Uruguay, and the biggest stadium on earth went silent. Not angry, not booing, just silence. 200,000 hearts breaking at the exact same moment. People describe it as the most haunting sound in football, which is that there was no sound at all. To this day, it's known as the Maracanazo, the greatest, most stunning collapse the game has ever seen. And it's proof of something strange and beautiful about this sport. Sometimes, the loudest sound in football is no sound at all. So there you have it, 8 moments where the World Cup did the one thing only the World Cup can do. It turned heroes into villains. It turned referees into headlines. And it turned a little dog into a legend. All in the blink of an eye. And that is exactly why we keep coming back every 4 years. Because you never, ever know when the impossible is about to happen right in front of you. So now I want to hear from you. Which one shocked you the most? And did I leave your favorite off the list? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this one, do me a favor and hit that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.